I'm Ted Keys, your host and top freight agent training expert here in Southern California. Welcome to this edition of your Freight Sales Success Training. After watching and applying it, you'll move more freight efficiently, effectively, and effortlessly, and make more money financially. And if you have any questions, call me, Ted Keys, at 626-309-9141. Today's topic comes from the front lines of my 30-plus years of business, sales, and freight moving success. Now enjoy watching, learning, and applying. Guys, hello and welcome to my Tuesday conference call. Ted Keys, your host and top freight agent training expert here in Southern California. This is a free, high-powered meeting I hold live every Tuesday for top producing, new, and struggling freight agents at 2 p.m. Pacific time and 5 p.m. Eastern time. On the call today, I will show you how to move more freight efficiently, effectively, and effortlessly so you make more money financially. And after the call, go to my website, tedkeysonline.com, to hear more of my podcasts, read more of my blog posts, watch more of my videos, and while you're there, visit my Freight Sales Success Store for top-notch freight moving products to truly explode your freight business today. When you arrive at my Freight Sales Success Store, you will see a host of products that are available. First one you'll see there is my Freight Sales Success Guide for beginner and struggling freight agents. I do, however, provide this for when you join our top producing freight sales office. Another product you'll see there is my Freight Sales Success Quotes. These quotes provide you with daily motivation to do what's important, to get on the phone and connect and build relationships with the marketplace. Third product you'll see there is my Freight Sales Success Training. This is a 17-video course. It'll take you literally from knowing little or nothing about freight to moving your first freight load and beyond. You'll also see there for sale again is my Freight Sales Success Skills. This product provides those intricate little skills that are required to handle different situations that you come in contact with. However, my Freight Sales Success Skills, along with my other products, are available today for purchase in my Freight Sales Success Store. And while you're there at my store taking in all this free information, on any page on my website you happen to be on, just over to the right, go over to the right and enter your contact details. By doing that, you'll receive your email invite to this in every call. Not only that, you'll receive the attachments that I provide on each and every call. And also, just as a freebie for opting in, you'll receive my free report. Again, it's just a free report. 11 ways freight agents will increase their income. Go through this as a beginning, struggling freight agent. This report will assist you in increasing your income. And just so you know, that report there has been downloaded thousands of times before. And if you have any questions whatsoever about what I went over today, or more importantly, more specifically, are you ready to join our top producing freight sales team? Then give me, Ted Keys, a call. I'm at 626-309-9141. Today's training topic is never say this to freight prospects. Never say this to freight prospects. So again, for those of you that are on my email contact list already and that you've received that email invite to the call today, just scroll down to any one of those invites that I sent you today, and we're going to go over our free attachments today. There's a total of 7 of them, again, explaining never say this to freight prospects. Never say this to freight prospects. And when I say this, I mean this. Never say this particular statements to your freight prospects, because one of the most important things you will learn and must do in this profession or any other sales profession is not only make contact with the marketplace. That's the first thing you have to do. Make contact with the marketplace, get through to the shipping decision maker, ask him a series of questions, receive his email address so you can make contact with him. But what you have to do after that is you have to follow up with your shipping decision maker, not only with him, but on every shipping decision maker that you get on your contact list, you must follow up with them, because it's through the follow-up that you will get the opportunity to move their freight. Let me give you that statistic again. For those of you that think, hey, I've called this guy 2-3 times. 80% of your sales success will happen between your 5th and your 12th contact. I mean, it's a simple statistic. And once you ingrain it into your mind, you're not going to have a problem, because you just know that, hey, this guy is not giving me the opportunity yet. I'm not on his list. Well, just be aware, you've got to make contact more than just 2 or 3 times, because like I said, 80% of your sales will happen between your 5th and your 12th contact. And again, that's provided that you're doing it successfully. So let's go back to doing it successfully and following up successfully. I can tell you this, if you keep doing what I'm going to talk about today, you won't be successful, okay? So let's talk about today, and let's talk about why, or let's talk about why you should never say this statement that I'm going to go over to your freight prospects. So let's talk about it. And let me just start off by saying that one of your main priorities, as I said earlier, beyond making contact, this is the second main priority that you have to do, and that is to follow up with your freight prospects after you first contact them. So what am I talking about when I say never say this to your freight prospects? Well, here we go. Never say this statement to your freight prospect when you follow up with them, and that is, I'm just touching base. I'm just touching base. I mean, when you think of it, it is the silliest words that you can say to somebody that you're actually going to do business with in the near future. So why would you not say I'm just touching base? Well, let me give you the first reason. All right, with I'm just touching base. I mean, this is like one of the most lamest statements you can make to your freight prospects. Why would you not use that statement, I'm just touching base? Well, the first reason is you're putting the pressure on your freight prospect to actually have a conversation with you, all right? Hey, Chris. Hey, Dan. Hey, Steve. Hey, calling, just touching base with you. I mean, what can your prospect do with that? First of all, you're not asking them a question. You're not asking them, hey, what's moving today? Do you have anything for me to work on today? All you're saying is, I'm just touching base. Where's that going to get you? So first of all, you're putting pressure on your freight prospect to actually have a conversation with you. And really, what can he do with it? What can she do with I'm just touching base? I mean, do you think that they're going to actually go back and look at their notes and say, yeah, gee, I really like this Ted guy here. I've only spoken to him once, but I like him. Let me go out of my way to keep a conversation go with him. So that's the first reason. You're putting the pressure on your freight prospect to actually have a conversation with you. So that's the first reason why you don't use that statement. The second reason is it's because the success of your follow-up call, all right, the success of every follow-up call you do is in direct relation to the success of your previous call, all right? The success of your follow-up call, let me say that again, it's in direct relation to what you did on the previous call. So during, all right, and again, you gotta keep this in mind as you're doing this. During that first call, you've got to nail down what happens next before hanging up the phone with your freight prospect and getting a commitment that both your prospect will do something, all right? Your prospect is going to do something, and then you'll do something as a result of your last call. And let's just say you just had your first call with them, and we're making call number 2 and just following up with them. So in reality, during that first call, let me say it again, you've got to nail down what happens next before hanging up the phone with your freight prospect and getting a commitment, okay? Getting a commitment that both your freight prospect will do something and then you'll do something as a result of your last call. So after you've established those clear steps during that first conversation, you can then say in your follow-up call with your freight prospects, here's an example, okay? And again, I'm talking to my freight prospect. I'm going to say, hey, Ted, let's just say his name is Ted. I'm calling to continue our conversation. All right. I'm not just saying I'm just touching base. What's up? I'm going to actually say, hey, Ted, I'm calling to continue our conversation from last week where we discussed me meeting your freight requirements. So I'm refreshing his memory as to why I'm calling. You're going to review the information that I sent you. Do you have any questions on the information that I did send you? And based on that, will you drop me on your email freight list? Okay, as I said earlier, hey, if he drops you on there, take heed. Okay, he may be dropping a lot of other people on there that get a hold of him. Or is he resisting? And if he is resisting, why is he resisting? Obviously, there's something beyond the example that I just gave you that's making your freight prospect resist. However, let me just repeat what you're to say as I did here in my example here. Hey, Ted, I'm calling to continue our conversation from last week where we discussed meeting your freight requirements. Meeting your freight requirements. Again, it's not about me. It's all about your prospect. You are going to review the information I sent you. Do you have any questions on the information? And based on that, will you put me on your email freight list? Now, when you join our highly productive office, I actually give you, for those of you that are aware of this and that you're freight agents, I actually give you a copy of that first email that you're to send to your freight prospects for the first time. So really, you take that email, you gear it to your prospect, and you call a couple days later, a week later, and basically you repeat this response here that I just gave you. I mean, it's really that simple when you become an agent with our office. However, and let's just keep going on here. On your follow-up calls, remember, very important, remember that your freight prospects are likely not doing any pre-call planning like you are, okay? Just bear in mind, just because you say you're Ted from Logistic Dynamics, don't expect your freight prospect to jump up and down and say, hey, oh boy, man, I've been waiting for you to call me. Hey, you are the furthest thing from his mind or her mind. So as I said, don't expect them to be expecting your call. It's just not going to happen. So they're not going to be doing any pre-call planning. So don't assume that they're in the same frame of mind as you when the time for your call rolls around. Again, don't expect them to be waiting for your call. It's just not going to happen. When you call them the first time, and even if you made a great impression, high probability that the thought of you is nowhere in their mindset. That's why you have to keep following up. You've got to keep putting thoughts in their mind that will make them that will remind them of you. That's what follow-up is. It's also you again showing them how reliable and professional you are. Assume that they won't, and as I was talking about earlier, just assume that they won't remember you at all. Then make a point to briefly review where you left your previous conversation, okay? Let me give you a couple of examples here. Ted, last time we spoke, you showed interest in our freight service. Let me say it again. Ted, last time we spoke, you showed interest in our freight service. Real simple, real common. Or, Ted, calling to continue our conversation from last week where we had discussed moving your freight, and you were going to do X. You were going to, it could have been receive my information and go over it. You said that you were going to go over it. Did you receive it? Did you go over it? What did you think of my information? Again, it's us always asking the questions, guys. So hang tight here. So by following these simple rules, you'll never have to touch base with anyone again. Even though you're doing it, don't say it. I'm calling to touch base. As I said earlier, think if somebody called you, okay? It's like saying, what's up, all right? Again, you're calling a prospect and saying, "Hey, what's up?" Do you really think that that they're going to want to spend time generating a conversation with you? No, it's not going to happen. 1 in 100 will. Are you willing to go through the list of 100 to make it happen? I doubt not. So let's keep touching base. Let's keep touching base on the baseball and softball fields, guys, and not in our freight sales follow-up. So, quick review on this. Don't ever use the phrase, "I'm just touching base" with your freight prospects. One, when you do it, it puts pressure on them, okay? Second reason is because you're not doing this effectively. When you had your first call with them, you were going to make sure that they were going to receive your information, just as an example, or they were going to do something else. You follow up to see that they did that, whatever it is, received your information, did they go over it? That's the great way to start. But you never, ever, ever call to just touch base with anybody, or certainly as with your freight prospects in this profession. So never say that to your freight prospects. "I'm just touching base." Get it out of your system. Hey, when you receive my Freight Sales Success Guide, whether you purchase it or you join our office, you'll never see that in there, to follow up and say, "I'm just touching base." So great topic today. Never say that to your freight prospects. Just don't ever say it. Do it the right way. When you do it the right way, then your pipeline won't be broken. Because if you keep doing it, then your pipeline is broken. They're just not going to deal with you if you just keep calling and say, "Hey, touching base. Hey, what's up?" Thinking that just because you're calling, they're going to stop and bow down to you and work with you. It just doesn't happen that way. Let's go on to attachment number 2. Let's go over some motivation. Again, these quotes that I give you are straight out of my Freight Sales Success Quotes Manual. But let's go over some motivation so I can really get you going here and to pick up this instrument and really have success with it. So let's go on and open up attachment 2, guys. And remember, when you're calling your prospects and customers, that in reality, the biggest secret, and hey, it's not a secret at all, but the biggest secret and the biggest obstacle to success is you. The biggest secret and the biggest obstacles to success is you. It's not the marketplace, okay? It's not this prospect, it's not that prospect, it's you. What are you doing as action steps to become successful in the profession? Really, it comes down to you. The biggest secret and the biggest obstacle, and typically it's the obstacles that keep us from going forward. And again, it's no secret at all. What are you doing daily, monthly, yearly? What are you doing every couple months to get yourself better, to make yourself a better representation of the profession? So again, remember, when you're calling your prospects and customers, the biggest secret, which is no secret at all, actually the biggest obstacle to success is you. Only you are stopping yourself or doing what's required to become successful in the profession. Let's go ahead and open up attachment number 3 there. Opening up attachment number 3. Remember, when you're calling your prospects and customers, you won't grow your freight sales business without selling, without producing, and most importantly, without following up. And not only following up, but following up correctly. That's what I just talked about, following up. This is the way how you follow up correctly. But either way, you won't get anywhere without selling, okay? You won't get anywhere without producing, all right? Actually picking up the phone and talking to folks, and especially following up. If you don't do any of those, all right, you're not going to be successful, period. So if you're not successful, you won't grow your business. In order to grow your business, you must sell, you must produce, and you must follow up. If you don't do those 3 at a minimum, you won't get anywhere in the profession. So let me just repeat it one more time so I really dig this into your mindset. Remember, when you're calling your prospects and customers, You won't grow your freight sales business without selling, without producing, and without following up. The more you do these things, the more successful that you become. It's that simple. It's 1 + 1 is 2. Sell, produce, follow up, and move freight. That's how it works. Let's move on to attachment number 4 there, guys. Attachment number 4, motivation number 4 reads, remember when you're calling your prospects and customers, I talked about this earlier, getting out of freight sales obscurity is one of your biggest challenges. Another challenge, getting to the shipping decision maker. But actually getting out of obscurity is another one of your biggest challenge, okay? If you don't make contact with the marketplace and use the instrument called the telephone, you're gonna remain in obscurity, okay? The biggest challenge you have is getting out of obscurity. I mean, just think of it that way. If you're not moving loads, it's because you're still in obscurity. How do you get out of obscurity? By making more and more contact with the marketplace. Why do you do that? Because not everyone will work with you from the get-go. Again, 80% of your sales come between your 5th and your 12th contact, okay? You've got to get out of obscurity in order for that to happen. And hey, getting out of obscurity is a challenge, but it's a challenge that we all can overcome. How do you get out of obscurity? By selling, by producing, and by following up. That's how you get out of obscurity, if you didn't recall that from my last attachment there. So I'll repeat it again. Remember when you're calling your prospects and customers, getting out of freight sales obscurity is one of your biggest challenges. And you'll know when you're out of obscurity. You'll know when you're out because you're actually moving freight. Does that mean you're totally out? No. We're always in obscurity in somebody's mind because we haven't made contact with them yet. But it's a challenge. It's a challenge that you can overcome. Let's go ahead and open up that 5th attachment, guys. I believe it's number 5. I take it back. It is number 5. Remember, when you're calling your prospects and customers, that taking massive action always leads to new challenges. So, one of your first challenges is getting out of obscurity, okay? So what do? You take action, you sell, you produce, you follow up. Well, that's taking action. If you desire success quicker, you've got to take massive action. On the flip side of massive action, well, challenges that come with that. So really there is a flip side. I'm just giving you this so you're aware. When you become more and more successful, when you take that massive action that's required to be successful, you're going to have more challenges. However, all challenges can be overcome. I'm just making you aware when you take that massive action, more challenges are going to come, because when you take massive action, you're going to move more freight. And hey, freight involves taking care of challenges as well, just like any other profession does. So let me just remind you one more time. Remember, when you're calling your prospects and customers, when you take massive action, you're going to have a whole new set of challenges. But think of it this way. Would you rather not be doing anything and not have any challenges, or just moving a massive amount of freight and really reaping the rewards from it? I'll take number 2, moving, taking massive action, and then dealing with the challenges that come with it. Instead of having the challenge of not doing anything, having unpaid bills, leaving the profession for a day job. You make your choice, okay? It's up to you. Let's go ahead and move on to attachment number 6 there. These are great quotes today. Please pay attention. When you do and when you actually follow through, the results are amazing. But anyway, attachment number 6, remember when you're calling your prospects and customers, hey, I can go over all this stuff with you. I can bring you to the watering hole, all right? I can just feed your mind with everything required to be successful. But here's the thing, I'm not gonna push your face in it. I'm gonna give you the skills, and let's think about it. I'm giving them to you free of charge. You're on this conference call with me. I'm giving you these skills free of charge. I'm bringing you to the water. What are you going to do with the water? Are you going to actually, bend down and drink it? Or are you going to think that I'm going to do that for you too? Well, it's not going to happen. I'll give you the free skills to become successful. You have to take those skills, you have to take those tools and apply them. Hence, I can bring you to water, but I won't push your face in it. That's what you have to do. You have to drink it, take it in, follow through, take the tools, and actually apply them to become successful in this profession. Let's move on to that last attachment, that last free attachment that I provided there for you. Go ahead and open it up. It's attachment number 7, guys. Remember, when you're calling your prospects and customers, freight sales stars shine bright. Freight sales stars shine bright. When you're moving freight, when you're really kicking butt, your star is going to shine so bright. And not only that, you're going to have people coming to you saying, hey, I want to deal with you. There's something that you're doing that's bringing success to you, not only success to you, but those individuals that you're working with. When your star shines bright, you're going to have so many people coming to you wanting to know what your secret is, which is no secret at all. It's just that you care about what you do, you care about your profession, you do it professionally. That's why folks will come to you. So remember, when you're calling your prospects and customers, that freight sales stars always shine bright. Always shine bright. Great topic for today. And again, that topic is never say this to freight prospects. Again, that line is, I'm just touching base. How lame of a line, how more lame of a line can you come up with, thinking that by saying it, your freight sales prospect is actually going to deal with you. In wrapping this up, do you have any questions about what I just went over? Any questions whatsoever, or more specifically, because of the value that you received and what you just got, are you ready to join our top producing freight sales team? I'll say this, I am a freight agent. Not only am I a successful one, but I actually teach the profession. Are you ready to join our top producing freight sales team? Yes? Then give me a call, Ted Keys, on that 626-309-9141. Great topic today. Again, never say this to freight prospects. Never say this to freight prospects. Been great talking to you today. I will see you all again next week. Same time, 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time on my Tuesday conference call, and it's a free one at that. Take care. God bless. I'll see you again next Tuesday at that same time. Take care. God bless. And bye-bye.